Hey guys, today's video is going about me being in rehab. If any of you guys have been there, I can tell you it is not a good place to go to. I met a lot of very messed up kids who did very messed up things. But yeah, today's video is going to be about me telling you guys my experience about being in rehab. This story takes place in Boston, Massachusetts. I was 11 years old, wasn't even a teenager yet. I was living with my grandmother for about a couple of years. Her and I had a lot of issues. I always ended up breaking shit on accident. None of my family members believe I do anything on accidents because they're great fucking people. My grandmother throwing fits and we get into fights. Some of my family members felt embarrassing for me because of how much shit I've gotten involved to, including the fact that I gotten into rehab. So around September 2013, it was a Saturday. I was just watching some TV, regular show. Anyone heard of Regular Show? Cartoon Network series? Love that show. Anyways, I was watching it and my grandmother came downstairs. She told me to clean up the basement because it was dirty. So I started cleaning while watching TV. Eventually, I moved this table and under it was a shit ton of ants. I hate ants. There was a bunch of ants. What I should have done is called my grandmother down to help me out because she knows I'm afraid of ants, especially if there's a shit ton of them. So instead of calling my grandmother, I get this ant spray that supposedly kills ants. Before I get a chance to open it and spray it, my grandmother comes down in coincidence and tells me to put the spray down because the ant spray was expired. But me being an 11-year-old, I didn't know shit about things being expired, so I used the spray anyways. She then grabs the spray from me. I tried to grab it back. Then she gets the broom and starts whacking me with it. I decided to use self-defense by grabbing the broom, and it just became a complete shitstorm. And ran away from home because I didn't want to continue fighting her. I was walking on the side of the road with a t-shirt and an underwear. My parents must be fucking proud of me. A few minutes passed by and a woman pulled over near where I was. She was worried that I was out here with a t-shirt and underwear. My dumbass tells her that I was homeless because I didn't want to come back to my grandmother's. So I got in her car and she took me to Subway because I told her that I haven't ate breakfast yet. She asked if she could bring me to the police station. I thought it was a great idea, so I had a little chit chat with the cop and told them everything that happened. The police brings me back home, makes me sit on the cold ground with just underwear. I don't know why. They then brings me to a hospital, probably because I was injured. So I sat in a bed for 13 hours. The only entertainment I had was an old TV with very few channels, my old journal to write in, because back then I liked to journal about shit that happens in my life, and I had some food. I ended up falling asleep because I was bored and tired. I also thought that I was going to go back home safely, feeling better than ever, and live a happy life with my family. Nope. While I was sleeping, people carry my bed outside to a van. I wake up and I can see the back window on a highway. Scary shit, right? So I woke up and called for help. The driver ignored me. I was scared shitless, my nigga. I finally arrived to this building. It was like 12:30 a.m. when I arrived there. They bring me to my room and a cop and two nurses came in my room. I asked where I was because I legit woke up in a moving van and got dropped off far from home because I was in the van for like a good hour. They told me I was in a rehabilitation building and they gave me all of the rules. They also told me that there are some kids in here with very mental issues. I told them I had no reason to be in there because I didn't have any mental issues and that I just ran away from home from an angry grandmother. Unfortunately, they told me that's not the story they got. See, my grandmother and the police told these motherfuckers that I assaulted my grandmother and that I didn't want to clean up and ran away from home. She also added that I kept breaking shit because I got so mad over little ass shit, not going to Dunkin' Donuts or not wanting to do dishes, etc. Of course, the guys who brought me here and the cops didn't believe me and leaves my ass strapped in bed. They told me if I didn't follow the rules, I can legit be held in this place longer. The longest a child has been held in this motherfucker was 15 years. So I was in that building for a week. The rehab is called Westwood. Not a bad rehab, actually. Most of the kids were fairly nice, and they had a lot of good shit. Since I was the oldest too, they had this bedtime rule where I can be that one person who can be up playing Wii, PlayStation 3, etc. for an hour. Great place. I actually thought that being there for a long time would not be bad, and actually lived there for a decent amount. Nope. A week later, they transferred me to a much worse rehab center, St. Vincent's. It's closer to home, but not as fun. A lot of messed up kids. The place was so messed up, they literally had cottages have a boy section and a girl section. Because apparently a long time ago, boys and girls would have sex in several positions at under 10 years old. Fucking great. One of the guys who worked there was actually giving out that information to me personally at a very explicit rate. Yeah, so to those young people who don't know what fucking anal 69 blah blah just, no, don't go to St. Vincent's. It's horrible there. So there was also this wedding my mom, my brother, my grandmother, and a few other of my family members are going. A group of other people made a meeting with me about how I can't go. So basically I went through all this bullshit rehab for 3 months. They originally told me I was going to be there for a year, but they realized how normal I was, so it took them 3 months to realize that I needed a therapist, not a rehab. So they sent me home, got me in therapy, and it did not help at all. I would refuse to talk to them about all the mayhem I had to go through, and they just stopped coming over to my house. A month after me being in rehab, I had this after-school program. I had to attend there because of my rehab history. It's called TAP. I forgot what it stood for, but basically it's an after-school program for kids to do activities, and it's meant for kids to do something instead of coming home on board and shit. I hated TAP. Reason being is that I used to think that it was a waste of my time, because the shit you do there is basically what kindergartners and first graders do. So I used to hate it. Then I liked it. Just a little bit. Keep in mind, that was the first time I've ever been to an after-school program. How I used to get there is that there's this guy named Aaron who drives a minivan and picks me up from school. I was supposed to ride that van, and I didn't have a choice to go home right after school, which sucked. But Aaron was pretty cool. He let me listen to hip-hop music and whatnot. He also picked up other kids who I recognized from Westwood. They were cool too. I miss them right about now. That's my rehabilitation experience. Please like the video if you like, subscribe if you're new to this channel, message me your stories about the bad shit that happened in your life, because I like to read some. Don't go to St. Vincent's, don't go to Westwood, or maybe go to Westwood, but like you need to be like messed up or have mental issues to go there. For real. Just don't go to rehabilitation, alright? I'll see you guys later.
Did he lost on the track, boy?